From the beginning of time, human society revolved around the marketplace. We can say that the human story is a story of marketplaces and stands in the middle of all this, tying every buyer and seller, connecting all marketplaces. Currency. So, what separates these marketplaces around the world? Not distance, but different forms of currency. From US dollars to Yuan, from Euro to Indian rupees. Existence of different forms leads to inefficiencies and costs. A special group of cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, may help bridge these different forms and remove, at least to some extent, the inefficiencies and costs. Stablecoins can change how we deal with and think about currency forever by fading the economic borders and bringing the idea of a global marketplace to reality. Hi, this is Sam Ghosh, and let us talk about stablecoins and the future of currency. This is the second part in this series, and in this part, we are going to talk about stablecoins and their possible impact on global payments. This piece is divided into the following sections. Why does cross-border payments need a revolution? Understanding stablecoins. Can stablecoins become global currencies? As per an Ernst & Young report, the global cross-border payment flows is expected to reach 156 trillion US dollars by 2022. This huge market is ripe for disruption. If you ever transferred money from one currency zone to another, you know how expensive, obscure, and time-taking the process is. In the age when domestic account-to-account payments are almost instant and often free, remittance looks medieval in comparison. Lack of transparency, long settlement periods, high transaction costs, and limited accessibility are some of the frictions and issues with cross-border payments. These issues multiply for exotic or less liquid currencies. So what causes these pain points? For that, we need to understand the complexity of cross-border payments. Currently, cross-border payment involves various entities interacting with each other. Incumbent banks and money transfer operators or MTOs act as front-end for both senders and receivers. But the primary mechanism for the transfer is operated by back-end operators such as Correspondent Banking Network or CBN or other alternatives such as SEPA in the Euro area. This multi-entity structure makes cross-border payments really expensive. As per a World Bank report on remittance, globally sending remittances costs an average of 6.38% as of March 2021. Also, the cost varies drastically based on the location of the receiver and the sender. Interestingly, a major part of the cost is comprised of various fees charged by various entities involved in the payment ecosystem over and above the foreign exchange margin for the currency conversion. Some examples of such fees are currency conversion rates, correspondent bank fees, landing fees, and cross-border taxes. So can cryptocurrencies solve these problems? Well, cryptos such as Bitcoin and Ethereum are not exactly reliable for money transfer due to the high volatility. So the stablecoins emerged. A stablecoin is a crypto asset that aims to maintain a stable value relative to a specified asset or a portfolio of assets. In simple words, stablecoins are crypto assets with volatility reduced through a stabilization mechanism. The stabilization can be through benchmarking to another asset or a portfolio of assets, or using an algorithm. Stablecoins can be classified based on the stabilization process: asset-linked stablecoins and algorithm-based stablecoins. First, asset-linked stablecoins. The value of the coin is supported by currencies or a portfolio of assets, which may also be other cryptocurrencies. Now, some examples of asset-linked stablecoins are USDC and USDT, which are backed by US dollar. Some others, like Diem, can be crypto collateralized. Then, algorithm-based stablecoins. The algorithm-based stablecoins take a very different approach. As the price of a crypto token changes based on demand for the token, algorithm-based stablecoins balance the circulating supply of the token based on demand, so that the price of the token remains within a specified range. In simple terms, the algorithm issues more coins or tokens when price increases and buys them off market or burns them when the price falls, lowering the supply. Some examples of algorithm-based stablecoins are MT set dollar or ESD and Ample Forth. Operationally, asset-linked stablecoins are complex to manage, as it involves creating a reserve of assets supporting the value of the crypto asset. The reserve can be a single fiat currency, such as in the case of Tether, USDC, and Qcash. For some stablecoins, the reserve is in the form of precious metals such as gold. For example, Hello Gold and DGX Gold. Some stablecoins are collateralized by other cryptocurrencies. One example is Diem. Created by MakerDAO, Diem is a stablecoin that has a face value pegged to USD, but in reality backed by Ether that is locked up in smart contracts. Now, some stablecoins are backed by a portfolio of financial assets. For example, Diem, which was previously known as Libra and not yet launched, is planned to be backed by a portfolio of financial securities and fiat currencies. So, can stablecoins become global currencies? Let us start with Diem, which was earlier known as Libra. In the middle of 2019, Facebook revealed their plans for Libra, a global cryptocurrency which would enable people globally to buy things or send money for nearly zero fees. The initial idea was to let people buy or cash out Libra online or at local exchange points like grocery stores and spend it using interoperable third-party wallet apps or Facebook's own Calibra wallet. The Calibra wallet was planned to be built into WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and its own app. The governance of the currency was planned to be in the hands of Libra Association, a not-for-profit, which was formed by 28 big names including PayPal, Stripe, Visa, MasterCard, Booking Holdings, Coinbase, Uber, and Andreessen Horowitz. The Libra Association was registered in Geneva, Switzerland. The initial idea was to build one global stablecoin which can be purchased with various local currencies and spent at low transaction fee without disclosing the identity of the consumer. The Libra stablecoins were planned to be tied to a basket of bank deposits and short-term government securities for a set of historically stable international currencies, including the dollar, pound, euro, Swiss franc, and Yuan. The Libra Association had planned to maintain the basket of assets. The goal was to manage the portfolio so that the value of Libra stablecoins remained stable. The association would earn the returns from the reserve, which will pay the cost of running the association. Okay, let us understand what kind of problems a stablecoin like Libra can solve. Remember the issues with cross-border payments? High cost, long delays, and uncertainty. Well, a global stablecoin like Libra would solve many of those problems to a large extent, as most of the cost associated with cross-border payments is just fees paid to many entities involved. A global stablecoin would lower the cost of cross-border payment. This would lower the growth barriers for cross-border e-commerce, exports by small companies, and make remittance easier for migrant workers. Cross-border transfers may become possible in minutes or even seconds compared with the current day or weeks. Also, as the transactions take place on a single platform, cross-border payments are likely to become significantly transparent and predictable. Smart contracts can be used for repetitive payments such as salary payments, loan payments, etc. Smart contracts are self-executing contracts that exist on a blockchain network without requiring any third party or central authority to enact it. Now let us get back to Libra. Libra faced various oppositions at the get-go. Regulators around the world considered Libra as a threat to their sovereignty. The fear was that Libra could disrupt the monetary systems around the world. This led to the exit of many founding members including PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, eBay, Stripe, and Booking Holdings. Reacting to these events, Libra came up with a new proposed structure in 2020 and a new name. Diem, a white paper published in April 2020, proposed a two-level structure. Single currency stablecoins at country levels and a multi-currency stablecoin for international transfers. Example of single currency stablecoins are Libra USD, Libra Euro, and Libra Pound. Each of these stablecoins was proposed to be fully backed by reserve, which would consist of cash or cash equivalents and very short-term government securities denominated in the currency of concern. The idea was to allow people and businesses to directly access a stablecoin in their own currency. The multi-currency stablecoin Libra was proposed as simply a digital composite of some of the single currency stablecoins available on the Libra network and not as a separate asset. The Libra was proposed to be comparable to the special drawing rights maintained by the International Money Fund, that is IMF. Although by 2021 things seem to have changed drastically as Diem announced plans to launch a USD-backed stablecoin and relocate to US from Geneva, effectively abandoning the global cryptocurrency ambitions. But the announcement of Libra caused many new stablecoin projects around the world, from Stellar Lumens to Binance Venus to MetalPay to Finality. Many stablecoin projects are taking shape around the world. We do not know which stablecoins may reach mass adoption, but it seems that stablecoins are here to stay, and global stablecoins may lead to global marketplaces. With this is Sam Ghosh. Thank you very much for being here. Bye bye.